Minnesota, you could argue, even though they have a 7-6, only one game ahead of 500, you could argue they are in their worst stretch of the year. So they were coming into their last 7 games. They won 3 in a row against Charlotte, against Chicago, and against Portland by an average margin of 17.3 points. After that, they lost 3 in a row. A 1-point loss to the Miami Heat, and then 2 straight losses to the Portland Trailblazers, who one of the worst teams in the league this season. Obviously rebuilding, they are 5-8, 13th in the West, and they dropped 2 straight to Portland, and then they almost dropped the 4th straight in Sacramento against the Kings with no DeMar DeRozan. Minnesota won the first 3 quarters. They were winning by 16 entering the 4th, and they blew the lead. For the Suns, it's been a tale of 2 seasons-ish. They started 8-1 with Kevin Durant, and in that stretch, it was very fascinating. They were averaging 114.4 points per game, 12th in the league, and they were shooting 38.3% from downtown, which was 7th in those first 9 games. Since the loss of Kevin Durant, which again was last week, so they've been a week without Kevin Durant. They played 4 games without him. They have a 1-3 record. They're barely scoring 100. They're only scoring 106.3 points per contest. That is 25th in the league, and they are only making 33% of their 3-pointers, which ranks 19th. Both of those stats in that stretch since November 8th. So since November 9th, since the games of November 9th, without Kevin Durant. And Mason Plumlee making the start. So Phoenix going double big to match up against Julius Randle and Gobert. Plumlee started at Utah, which is an 8-point win. He had 15 points, 14 rebounds. His only game scoring in double figures was a start. He played 26 minutes in that game at Utah. Ryan Dunley spoke about his shooting improvement compared to college in the NBA. In his first 5 games, he shot 44% from 3, and people were like, "Oh, I was wrong on my projection. Like, if he can be this knockdown shooter, it'll be an interesting test case on shooting leaps from college to the NBA." In his last 7 games, he's shooting 24%. So he's clearly come down from wherever he was. But opening tip, regardless, won by the Suns. And Tyus Jones brings it up for Phoenix this season today. Nurkic just spread his range out from downtown, and he nails it. Yusuf Nurkic hitting the 3. Mike Budenholzer makes his big shoot, and Nurkic doing just that. He's shooting 2.9 threes per game. He knocks it out of bounds again. Second straight defensive possession that Nurkic knocks it out of bounds in that corner, doubling. Nurkic, he's shooting a career high. He's attempting a career high in threes, and he's making a career high in threes. 2.9 attempts, 0.8 makes. Shooting 25% from 3. Makes his first attempt there, and obviously that'll be a big key against Rudy Gobert. Julius Randle, though, attacks Yusuf Nurkic and nails the mid-range jumper for Devin Booker. Phoenix hedging the Anthony Edwards screens, forcing Gobert to create. He cannot. Booker, wing 3, nails it. 5 early points for Devin Booker. It is 10-2 Phoenix. And a timeout called by Chris Finch and Minnesota. Chenso against Monte Morris, who just checked in. Dante misses the 3-pointer. Dante, a bit of a slow start this season. 30% from 3. He shot 40+% last year with the Knicks. Obviously not what Minnesota was expecting in that trade that sent Karl-Anthony Towns to New York. Phoenix today has 7 turnovers. I was mentioning it during the break. They only commit 13.5 turnovers, which is the 9th fewest amount of turnovers per game for any team. Monte Morris averages 0.2. He's got 2 already. Nurkic looking for a second 3, can't hit. A 17-5 run for Minnesota. Gobert rolled wide open. Edwards either didn't see him or looked him off. Either way, Minnesota plays on. Naz Reid goes right at Nurkic, and that's a foul on Yusuf Nurkic. That's his 3rd. So that is a very important call. I was mentioning the foul trouble of the Phoenix Suns bigs. Nurkic picks up his 3rd.